That's always
Okay.
scary.
It says we're live now. I think we're back. Let me listen on the other computer just in case.
Hello, world.
Yes, I can. It's working. Yay! All right.
Good
That
morning,
was
Bobby.
fun. I'm good. How are you?
We're good. Take two.
One day when we go to do something live on Facebook, it'll just happen. One day.
But you know what? We're making it happen. We're learning as we go, and as long as we just keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. So one of the things that we talk about on the show this week, which I think is fun to talk about again, is with all of the discussion everywhere about, social distancing and reopening everything,
Yes.
when the airlines get back to where they were before coronavirus, do you think the middle seats are going to be making a return? Or do you think that airlines are going to have to figure out a way to block the middle seats to keep everyone at a distance, at least until there's some sort of a vaccine? And then for that matter, how will the airlines make money if you're blocking a quarter of the airplane?
First question, what is the middle seat?
Yeah, no. But by the way, if you're watching, just curious what you guys think about it. Like, do you think the middle seat should come back, or how do you think airlines can mitigate social distancing when they get back to normal? I mean, right now, there's no reason really to block the middle seat because the planes are not that full, unfortunately.
I know, but I'm thinking, how are they going to, the airline industry is already in so much trouble. How are they going to survive without booking all of those seats?
I know. Well, Tom on Facebook, hey Tom just said lose the middle seats.
Maybe. Do you think the airlines would physically actually take out the middle seat?
No, I don't think so. I think they would just block it. I mean, if they did lose the middle seat altogether, it would change, the weight of the plane too, and then you'd be using less fuel. But at the same time, oil went down to negative money yesterday. So
for the first time in history, which
I know.
What is just always just blowing my mind is just the ripple effect of this, and how this is just really going into so many different industries. It's just wild. But I feel like I feel like the airlines will pack the airplanes as soon as it's over. I don't think people will worry about the middle seat.
Also on Facebook, Janine, don't know which one, sorry. She said, raise prices and get rid of the middle seat. And Joycey said the airlines need to ease into filling up.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think it's going to be a gradual process, getting people back on planes, getting people back to traveling as a whole. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I for one am like, let me back on.
I know. Definitely getting cabin fever, but there's definitely something to still be said for keeping social distancing in place until we've actually got it under control.
Yes, definitely.
Now, in other news yesterday, I don't even know if you saw this, Nikki, but Virgin Australia officially went bankrupt. And I use air quotes because in Australia they call it voluntary administration. Everything just sounds better in Australia.
No.
But voluntary administration basically means that the airline didn't have enough money to make it through. They are still operating. They are still, whatever flights they had operating, I should say, they are still operating. They had already canceled quite a bit of their international travel and whatnot. But now they're looking for either a private equity firm or someone to put in some money and try to revive the airline. Now, Richard Branson already responded. Richard Branson put out a video yesterday evening about the whole situation, and the video, as a former Virgin employee, sounds very much like any other video Richard Branson ever put out, in my opinion. It always is the same bit of information about we're going to make it through, we're going to get there, everyone's great, we created something different. But, yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
So, Virgin Australia, what actually is Richard Branson's stake in Virgin Australia?
10%.
There are all different subsidiaries under the Virgin brand, right?
So actually, how it works is you license the name. Like here, Virgin America was never really a Virgin company. company VAI Incorporated licensed the name to become Virgin America. But then with the license, you also get Richard Branson as like as a figurehead and a public relations tool.
Mm-hmm. So what's been the sort of response from his video so far?
I mean, I haven't really been able to gauge the response from people who work for Virgin Australia. I mean, but he always sounds quite, optimistic, reassuring, and that it's going to make it happen. He says they're working day and night to turn it around and make sure that Qantas has competition. He even mentions them in there, saying, to our competitor, don't get too comfortable.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, for Virgin America, every time we hit hard times, we would get a video like this. And of course, the management would always be like, rah, rah, look, Richard Branson's all in. It's like, yeah, but we knew Richard Branson couldn't really do much. Quickly looking on Facebook, Beth Keller. Hi, Beth. She wants to know where my cat is. Well, he's under a blanket over here sleeping. That's where he is.
Super!
He's quite annoying. He talks all day long. So I'm happy that he's not talking for like these 10 minutes. And Joycey also said, back to the middle seat topic on airplanes for a second, she said, yes, raise prices, so many still need to travel. They will pay the higher prices, at least at first anyway.
I mean, I think everyone is just ready to get going again. I know I am, but so I think this will be very interesting to see how the progression, how long it takes, what the airlines do to make people safe and comfortable and still keep, the industry going. This is going to be very interesting.
It is. I mean, but also kind of, it's not kind of, it is sad, and just like to see the state of the airline industry now and like the craziness that's happening on a daily basis. I mean, the other day they said TSA only checked in 95,000 people. When in America, aside from when the Wright brothers made the first airplane, has TSA checked in 95,000 people nationwide?
That it's just crazy. It is. We've never seen anything like this, and it is just such unprecedented changes and unprecedented times, and where we are in, new territory in our industry. It's like, what's going to happen today? Every day is a new thing, and there's a lot of bad news going on around there.
Yeah, there is, and unfortunately, in other bad news for that, Norwegian Airlines has just ended their United States-based flying, and they're closing the crew bases in the United States, which were JFK, Los Angeles at LAX, and Fort Lauderdale, and laying off the 500 United States-based flight attendants that they had. Now, Norwegian had a lot of controversy because they are, an overseas airline that were trying to use a flag of convenience, which means they were trying to get around some pilot rules and unions and whatnot. But at the end of the day, Norwegian, their flight attendants at least, were organized with the Association of Flight Attendants. They have a contract. But what's really interesting about all of this is in their contract, it says that if they are furloughed, they have recall rights for 2 years. So Norwegian cannot hire new flight attendants to be based in the United States unless they recall all of these 500 that were furloughed first.
Okay.
But for those 2 years, Norwegian has to pay at least 70% of those employees' medical benefits for all 2 years. And I was reading that last night in the letter that the Norwegian flight attendants got, which, by the way, you can read on our website, thejetset.tv. I'm curious if Norwegian's going to try to find a way to get out of that, considering they're not based here. So how much fight can we, how much can we actually force them to do something like that?
Do you think they would kind of go behind all of the people that they've just let go and try to hire new flight attendants?
Well, they can't in the United States first. They have to recall those 500. Mm-hmm. But I just don't know, first of all, the fact that they got that written in their contract, great on them. Guaranteed medical benefits if you get laid off. Mm-hmm. But now you're saying, okay, they went bankrupt. They have 4 subsidiaries that went bankrupt yesterday, and now they're being told, oh, well, you have to continue to pay 70% of these 500 people's medical benefits for 2 years.
Hmm. Has anyone out there, does anyone know a Norwegian flight attendant, or has anyone out there flown on Norwegian Airlines?
I've flown on them.
Have you?
I've flown on them. Yeah, I took them to Barcelona for the cruise 2 years ago.
And?
It was a good experience. I mean, they are a low-cost international carrier. I mean, they have their premium economy, or their premium cabin, I should say, definitely is. I mean, it's like premium economy on American now at this, like their new premium economy cabin. It was a nice service. It was a cheap flight. I mean, we went round trip Newark Airport to Barcelona for $550 a person.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, I was in premium one way, and the other way, my mother was in the back. She wasn't in premium with us in the front. She was up there the first time.
Carol.
And it wasn't any worse than how small the legroom is on American Airlines and coach.
But 2 years is a long time. That's
Yeah.
my 2 years is a long time, and
It is.
as we all know, we gotta get this rolling. So what's gonna happen in like a year from now when they still have a year to go? Like, I don't know.
I know, and here's to hoping that Norwegian does the right thing and keeps paying all of those folks medical benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because here's the other thing too. So you figured, okay, 500 flight attendants just got furloughed. It's not like there's going to be an airline hiring in the next couple of months to apply to.
Mm-mm.
So unfortunately, you're looking at, trying to find another career, I guess, or some other open job in the industry.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Do you have any
I know.
good news for me today, Robert and Lori? Anything good?
I don't know about that. That's a good question.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to talk about the Pakistani airline taking people's temperature.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Let's talk about this.
Pakistan International Airlines. Well, the Pakistan, like their version of the FAA,
Okay.
they decided that any inbound flight into Pakistan, the flight attendants must take the passengers' temperatures every 90 minutes. And before taking off from wherever you're leaving, going into Pakistan, the flight attendants have to take your picture in each zone of the aircraft to show the arriving airport that everyone was given and wearing masks. The back of the airplane, the last couple of rows need to be blocked to be used for people who are showing symptoms as the flight progresses, and also for crew members that show symptoms. Mm-hmm. It's just interesting to me. I can't imagine being told as a flight attendant that now I have to take my passengers' temperatures, and already you're in harm's way because you're still working. And this is still not completely under control. But now to be told, oh, we're going to put you that close to everyone. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I have a question. If I were the CEO of Pakistani Airlines, I would hire medical professionals. If they want to go that route, I would hire medical professionals to be on those flights. That's, in my opinion, IMO, that's too much. That's just too much for a flight attendant to do, because they're already, it's safety, but flight safety, not medical safety. I just think that it's too much, asking too much of your flight attendants to also be now medical professionals.
Yeah.
So if they want to do that, they want to go that route, have the nurses, professional medical staff on the flight, as well as the flight attendants, and everyone can work together. That's a lot of responsibility for a flight attendant.
To put on the crew member. Yeah, I mean, and so their version of the FAA, the Civil Aviation Authority, is the one who put it out there. And I mean, just like here in the States, if the FAA says something, the airlines they're not going to turn around and find a nurse to put on the plane. The airline's going to end up just spending the money to just telling the flight attendants that they have to do it. Mm-hmm. But I first of all, taking the passengers' pictures to give the picture to the arriving airport, just because on takeoff after boarding, they're wearing masks, doesn't mean that everyone wore a mask the whole flight.
Yeah, there's just logistically, I don't know how they will be able to do that. Plus, if you're taking pictures and taking everyone's temperature, how are you going to have time to do anything else? And Yeah.
And I forgot, every hour, I think it was, they have to go through and pass out hand sanitizer to all the passengers as well.
I don't know. What do you guys out there think about that? I just think that's a very
Yeah.
business.
We are actually live right now, so tell us what you think. You can leave us a comment. We can read them right now on here. There's 30 of you out there who have something to say about it.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's a very busy.
Yeah.
Busy. But also, here's my question. Okay, let's say a flight attendant sees a passenger that is exhibiting symptoms, and they may have not had a temperature at the beginning of the flight.
That's true.
They may have a temperature at the end. Then
but then see, at that point, they're saying that then the flight attendants have to move them to the back of the plane and monitor them, and then, I guess, take some sort of record. Maybe they take another picture of them to give over to the airport when they arrive. I just can't believe that it becomes the flight attendant's responsibility to check temperatures.
Well, here's my thing. Flight attendants, they're my heroes. I know all of you guys out there are superheroes and you guys have superpowers. I just don't know if that's safe. I don't know if that's safe to be put in that kind of...
Now, I do know, and here's something interesting too. By the way, so quickly, Emily Ross. Hi, Emily. Emily and I were in training together at America West, which then became US Airways. She said that that's crazy what they're making them do. Joycey says that's a lot. And John Linder wants to know, where are we?
Oh, well, John.
Not on an airplane right now, unfortunately.
No.
But
I'm in my
home.
closet.
She's in her closet. And I'm in the loft where I live with a makeshift TV studio behind us for the TV version of the show.
I have a 2.5-year-old, so I hide in my closet and do the news.
So another bit of information, and for those of you that are watching that are flight attendants, I'm interested in seeing how or what you guys think of this too. Mm-hmm. So in Europe, I think specifically the United Kingdom, but I know that someone's trying to organize it here. They're asking flight attendants to volunteer at hospitals and testing sites because of the medical training that we've received during initial flight attendant training to go assist the doctors and the nurses. Now, they're asking this of flight attendants that have been laid off from the airlines, furloughed for now, and it's on a volunteer basis. Now, they're, again, just kind of like taking the temperature on the plane. To me, it's twofold, because you're not on the plane right now, and truthfully, that's if you're not, good on you, and if you are, like Nikki said, you're all heroes, because you're putting up with every day, putting yourself at risk to get people home. But I don't know if going then to volunteer at a hospital or a testing site is something I would rush to do. Mm-hmm. Because what's the liability then there? Like, if you end up getting sick and you're furloughed and you don't have insurance, then who takes care of you?
That's my, the health insurance of our people that now do not have health insurance. I don't know if I would be running to hospitals, especially if I don't have health insurance.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing because, like, you guys are trained with your medical background. Did you guys have like CPR training and like what other medical training did you guys have?
Pretty much anything that you'd see on a normal basis, like how to handle someone who's going into like a diabetic, in need of sugar, in need of oxygen. We knew how to administer that all the time. CPR, of course. But then we had you have a manual that you can go through, and there's always a doctor you can call to walk you through a situation. Joycey says, are they going to supply enough thermometers? So the thermometer that they're going to use on PIA Airlines is one of the ones that is electronic, that scans your forehead, and then it projects either onto your forehead or onto the machine what the passenger's temperature is. So not like you'll be reusing, the thermometers where you'd run out. And Emily then said, take the temperatures before the flight, but once they're on the plane, what's the point? I agree. Once you're on the plane, at that point, you're not going to divert to take them off. So why put the flight attendant in that extra added situation?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I say, like, maybe at the airport, but also maybe you shouldn't be, I don't know.
Michelle Cumming just said, in the UK at least, it's only the Nightingale hospitals, low care hospitals, that they're asking the flight attendants to volunteer at. She said EasyJet crews are there doing it, and in the UK, it's true, in the UK, everyone has health insurance.
Ah, interesting.
That changes. It's not a situation that here and we don't have, so that would play a factor here. But there, good on the EasyJet crews for helping out. And then John says, how long do you think it'll take for the airlines to get back to speed? Okay, so I'm not 100% sure what happened there. Sorry about that, everyone. I know you're all dropping off right now, but I just wanted to come back and say sorry. We were on a Zoom call and Zoom kicked us off for some reason. We just got bumped out. But just wanted to update you on the questions that we had real fast. John said, how long do you think it's going to take for the airlines to come back? Well, that's a really good question. I mean, right now, who knows, honestly. It looks like airlines are still planning on additional cuts through June right now, at least. I know that the flight attendants, if the airlines did take some of the buyout money, some of the federal assistance money, the flight attendants and other employees, ground crew, gate agents, ticket agents, all of them, they cannot be furloughed or laid off until at least September 30th. But United's already said that on October 1st, they're looking at the possibility of already looking at a smaller airline than you're looking at today. So unfortunately, I think it's going to be into 2021 before we see the airlines come back to it altogether. Sorry for getting disconnected and cut off. We're going to try to do these conversations with everyone on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So continue to follow us here on Facebook. The Jet Set TV is where you can find us. And then our website, thejetset.tv. And then, of course, check your local listings. You can watch us on TV. So sorry that we got disconnected. See you guys on Thursday.